Some of us here may have watched the Disney movie Finding Nemo and would have enjoyed the show. Unless you were like my 11-year-old son, who preferred the sequel, Finding Dory. Most of us have been fascinated by the journey of Nemo's father, who went through the Pacific Ocean, all the way to the aquarium in downtown Sydney, and then going back with Nemo all the way back to the ocean. Today, I want to take you through a journey of a Singapore homegrown fish, and use that to illustrate how the agri-tech scene in Singapore has evolved, and how some of our Singapore companies have supported this journey. The name of our homegrown talent is the St. John Asian Sea Bass. St. John because it was developed off St. John's Island, which is an island about 6 kilometers off the southern coast of Singapore. It was developed by the Temasek Life Science Laboratory, as well as the Agri-Veterinary Authority, which is the predecessor of the Singapore Food Agency. And after 15 years of R&D in genetic selection and crossbreeding, the TRL scientists spun off this company called Agrifood, which produces fries and fingerlings less susceptible to diseases, grows up to 30% faster, and more importantly, more nutritious. So this is the right start of our local hero. Then we have to help our fish grow with the right feed. Blue Aqua, one of Singapore's local company, sells aqua feed products on that. The latest interesting development is a tie-up with Donata to upcycle organic waste from Donata's catering operations into alternative insect proteins for aqua feeds. And after having the right start and the right feed, we then need the right environment for the fish to grow. And vaccines can play a big part in strengthening fish health. In 2017, Nanyang Polytechnic developed Singapore's first autogenous vaccine for the Asian sea bass, and later spun it off under the startup UVax. My father would tell me when he was a young boy in the 1960s how he would help his father, or my grandfather, who owned a small-scale fish and pig farm. And each year during the dry season, my father's job was to dig a hole in the swampy land about the size of an Olympic swimming pool, up to your waist height, wait for the rain to come, release some fingerlings into the water, and then hope for the best to come. And even then, during the hot periods, the water gets heated up, and you'll describe how the fish will come right up to the surface because there is overheating, right? And he has to throw some salt there to kind of lower the temperature. Now I'd like to contrast that scene with what we're seeing today. We have come a long way. I'm delighted to be here with you in the 4th edition of the Asia Pacific Agri-Food Innovation Summit. Our agri-tech scene has developed rapidly over the last few years, especially the launch of the 30 by 30 vision in 2019. I want to explain briefly today how ESG is supporting our enterprises and the startups in this space, and encourage you to participate in this movement. I'll use the metaphor of the journey of the fish that I described earlier. So right start, right feed, and then the right environment. So first, right start. 3 years ago, ESG Seed Capital announced the intention to partner 7 co-investor companies to invest into the agri-food tech space. Today we are seeing early success of that outcome. More than $140 million have been raised, and the number of Singapore-based agri-food companies has grown from 55 in 2018 to 120 last year. And the number keeps growing. This year we are excited that one of ESG's startup SG Accelerator Partners, NUS Enterprise, has established the NUS Agri-Tech Center, an innovation center dedicated to assisting agri-tech startups for translation and commercialization of technology. So we want to give startups the right start as much as we can. Next, the right fee. I will use that to describe the R&D and the co-innovation that ESG is working with our partners to help our startups. For example, to innovate and test new solutions, ESG has supported Singapore Polytechnic to launch the Food Innovation and Resource Center, or FIRC, in 2007. And also with Temasek Polytechnic to form a consortium of more than 10 institutes to form the Aquaculture Innovation Center in 2018.